Getting better and finding the correct things to improve on surely isn't the easiest of tasks, but we're here to help you with that. Howdy legends, I'm Zephyr, and today we'll be going over the best methods to get better at Apex. But before we do that, let's take a look at our question of the day. Whenever you start a new game, what do you do to improve in that game? The very first thing we have to get ourselves accustomed to is the fact that Apex Legends isn't just a typical shooter. It's about tactical elements that involve cooldowns, resources, team compositions, as well as positioning and timing. So, let's take a step back and take a look at the entire game from a different perspective. This method is about analyzing the overall theme of the game and various variables that impact gameplay and gameplay options within every round. To understand this a bit better, you have to do some annoying work. Getting familiar with all the variables available, be it surroundings, most usable climb spots, movement, basically everything that's available in the game or commonly used needs to be on your mind. In your mind in the sense that you can instantaneously draw from a huge pool of knowledge and put that piece of information to good use. What I'm specifically talking about is the ability to be flexible with your information. It's about adaptability. Technically speaking, it's not possible to know all the variables at all times, but you don't have to be aware of them. All you have to do is create yourself a few plans that you can quickly stick to when things get real messy. The next method is about the firing range. I can't possibly stress this enough, but you need to get familiar with that in order to improve as a player. Here, you can experiment in different movement techniques, aim, and pick up weapons you'd normally not find during the game. I mean, let's be honest. How can you possibly improve your proficiency with weapons efficiently when you're just playing the game normally? You'll never find the weapons often enough, so why not use the firing range for that? Up next is actually asking for help. Whenever you hit a wall, it's just natural to ask someone else for another perspective on the topic. In this scenario, I recommend you check out ProGuides.com. You can find the best coaches there, and they'll be more than happy to assist you with anything Apex. If you happen to have a friend, on the other hand, that likes to help other players improve, make sure to hit them up. Don't lose out on such an opportunity because of ego. Sometimes, all of us can just use some little helper, and it doesn't even need to be much. Maybe just a few words or a little analysis of your play to showcase to you what you did wrong can be more than enough to change you for the better. Similar to other games, focusing on too many things at once will delay your progress. Therefore, it's mandatory for me to talk about limiting your legend pool. Rather than playing all legends over the place, you should really focus on at most 3 legends. The obvious reason here is that if you're a one-trick and your legend's quite popular, you'll get into trouble securing it every game. In addition to that, you want to avoid forcing your team into a comp that doesn't add to the overall theme of your legend choice just because you're maining it. But the truth about limiting yourself only to a few legends comes with your expertise on them. You'll quickly understand all the ins and outs of a legend and pilot it way better than any other legend. The general game sense and application of your tacticals grows rapidly in a way that you'll overall improve so much faster. If you want to push yourself, you should change your little roster every split and see how good you can become in the very long run. Contrary to what a lot of people are telling you, this is something that helped me personally in every game I've played so far. Play aggressive and play to understand the limit of yourself and your character. Cold dropping every game won't improve your combat mechanics, and you'll eventually encounter a wall you'll never overcome. To avoid hitting this wall with full force, I recommend changing your focus early on. Play to improve and not just to win or gain RP. Once you're good enough, RP will flow in naturally, and you'll get to the point to look for as many fights that you can physically find. Take every gunfight, focus on movement, and elevate your skill to the next level. However, you need to have the right state of mind for this, and failing multiple times in a row can't be a problem for you. Generally, people have a very bad concept when it comes to success and failure in general. You're always expected to succeed, but you're not ever allowed to fail. That is substantially wrong and painful for your own mental and growth. Take those little defeats as a motivator to do better. Be critical with yourself, raise your awareness towards your own mistakes, and work on them in a manner that you'll never repeat the same mistake twice. Then you'll surely grow and improve. For aiming, on the other hand, you just have to build that muscle memory in combination with overall movement. So go and drop as hot as possible. In the end, the most experienced players are the ones who ended up winning the most games consistently. If you really want to go crazy on the improvement part, I recommend that you start recording your own gameplay. With that, you can always rewind and see what you did and pinpoint literally every single mistake. With that footage, you can also easily hire a coach from ProGuides.com to get a personalized help with every issue in Apex. Other than that, you're also able to just do a VOD review session when you don't feel like playing. In other games, this is very common because just playing the game over and over again isn't as efficient as you think it is. It's about spotting bad habits early and breaking them apart as fast as possible so they don't turn into your nightmare. Give it a try and you'll be surprised how well it works. Rather than playing the game on your own, what about squatting up with other people to increase the fun and seriousness of playing the game? More than often enough, people just don't feel like tryharding too much when they're on their own. But if they play with like-minded individuals, they finally start to flourish. Play together and have fun because once you start having fun, improvement will come so much faster. We all like doing what we find enjoyable, and that's why a lot of us struggled a bit when it came to school. It just wasn't that enjoyable. But once we changed our perception on it and realized why we need it, the fun can come very fast. For playing games, however, it's about working towards a common goal. Communicate, set expectations, and practice as much as you want. Another great method to improve your gameplay is to get inspiration from other players. Luckily, in the year of 2022, it's so easy to do that. Just open Twitch or any platform of your choice and look for a personality that is streaming Apex. You'll find a big amount of highly ranked players from the get-go, and then it's time to literally consume their content. Observe what they're doing and try to understand why they're doing it. Don't just blindly copy it. That would defeat the purpose. As I've said before, just playing is not efficient enough to improve as a player. There's so many other things you can do to get better. You may even ask the streamer questions in chat, and if you're lucky, you'll get a reply that covers exactly what you wanted to know. It's also possible for you to play a little game while they're playing and try to predict their next move. Speak to yourself and guess what the streamer is about to do next. Check out our own knowledge and think about why the streamer does something else. With that little trick, you can work on your game sense while relaxing on your couch. No pressure at all and an easy time to polish your knowledge a bit. The last method I want to tackle is about exposing your body in fights. Whenever you're fighting, you and the enemy will always expose a part of their body, be it a head, a shoulder, or maybe everything at the same time. Naturally, the one that exposes more is more likely to get shot. As a consequence, you have to start viewing your own point of view as a reference for how much your body you're showing. If you see everything and nothing partially covers your screen, then it's very likely that you're too open for others to take you out. With that being a concept that might be a bit harder to implement in your gameplay, I recommend you hop into the firing range with a friend and you try jiggle peeking corners. Try to hide 40% of your screen behind a wall and perhaps add tap strafing on top of that. Next, your friend is going to do the same while you're watching. After that is done, you'll fight in a completely open space. I'm pretty certain that once you've done this, you'll understand everything there is to know about peeking. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for everything Apex you can imagine.